A new life in Europe. A dream chased by thousands.
I don't really think you can better it.
It's just amazing living in Spain.
With sunny days and a great way of life, it's easy to see why. But this doesn't come for free.
To come up with that money out of thin air is quite difficult.
So to fund this life,
Oh my God.
expats are setting sail
He's out. He's gone.
and setting up businesses.
There's mushrooms growing on the wall.
Okay.
On this series, we follow a fresh group of expats,
Every day's like this at the minute, it's just non-stop.
Run, run, run.
launching paragliding and restaurants in Spain,
I think there's a future in this for us.
B&Bs and villas in France.
Look at that, like a Ferrari toilet.
But will it be profitable
There was a lot of happy people here.
or simply painful?
I want a piece of Spain, not a piece of Chernobyl.
And can the new expats really make their new life in the sun pay?
Job well done.
I'm so happy.
On today's show,
Jim, how are we actually going to get out of here?
Have you got your phone with you?
No.
a family foursome face an uphill battle to realise their business dream.
It's like we were sacking off everything home in the UK, completely going bonkers.
But are they dreaming a bit too big?
Any emotion of like leaving home is kind of being replaced by anxiety. Emotion is leaving and anxiety is coming in at an alarming rate at the moment.
A husband and wife team take the plunge and buy a new diving venture. But have they left it too late?
His flight is to the Dominican Republic this evening.
Oh, I thought it was Monday. No, en serio?
And after a lifetime spent locking up criminals,
Had a dream that I'd bought a B&B in Spain and quit my job in England.
will these former coppers ever adapt to civilian life?
A different weapon of choice than I'm used to. Still yellow, like the taser was.
High in the Andalusian hills and towering over the Mediterranean Sea lays Competa, population 3,459. Time seems to have stopped in this ancient Roman town. Locals still proudly practice many of the century-old traditions typical of this part of southern Spain, including the production of muscatel wine celebrated yearly with a big summer festival.
It's more like sherry.
Very sweet, very sweet.
People from many different nationalities now call this place home, including Graham and Joe Hepper, who met in prison in London.
We met at work, both police officers.
Yeah, I wasn't a suspect. Believe it or not.
We're both police officers. We were on separate teams, but you do attachments to units where you process prisoners. And we were both doing an attachment to that unit. So we just sort of hit it off from there, really, didn't we?
Graham and Joe have given back their handcuffs, put their house up for sale, and are using the cash to buy a B&B in the village.
See, I love the fact that this is part of our working day now. We're waiting to go and see the bank manager.
Yeah,
Having coffee and cake in the square. It's just amazing.
La Vista has been owned and run for the last 2.5 years by Swedish couple Mats and Natalie, who are selling up to move back to Stockholm.
Hola! Hola, mi niña!
La Vista dates back 200 years, so the 4 rooms to let have a small and simple rustic charm. Graham and Joe are putting everything they have into their new venture. The sale of their English home will pay for half of the guest house, and they're planning to mortgage the rest. But after years of dealing with the criminal side of life, the transition to Civvy Street isn't going to be easy.
In some ways, it's actually quite similar.
Just opposing ends of the customer service spectrum.
In this case, you're kind of hoping that people go away happy, whereas inevitably people go away not very happy having dealt with them as a police officer.
There's less remit for me to throw people to the floor and handcuff them.
Yeah,
I've found.
Definitely happens less.
3 weeks before the takeover, with Joe back in England, Graham is learning the ropes from current owners Mats and Natalie.
But we also have one room also that we're going to make the bed and clean. It should be very easy for you.
We'll see.
Graham might have handed in his badge and gun, but the notebook is staying firmly in his hand.
Usually, before I clean this part, I vacuum clean it before because it's dry.
I'll be getting straight in my notebook.
Yeah.
Vacuum the shower.
Yeah.
This former copper and his wife have a lot to learn before they take over the business in 3 weeks' time.
I think it's sinking in that the complete change from walking the streets of London to walking the streets of Competa.
The region of Tarn-et-Garonne in southwest France. An area famous for its deep gorges, rolling hills, lush forests, and picture-perfect medieval fortified villages. The region has just acquired 4 new English residents, attracted by the laid-back nature of the local population.
Back home, my hair attracts a lot of attention, my appearance attracts a lot of attention, but like here, you can just be yourself and it's not a problem.
This is the most beautiful thing you've ever said.
Oh no, it's really
I'm
important
almost
to me.
tearful.
In the country that gave the world the Tour de France, Mel, her older sister Charlotte, and their husbands Jim and Marcus from Coventry have decided to give up their office jobs to launch a bespoke business offering cycling holidays.
And I just realised that this area was just incredible for cycling. And I just never knew anything like it. And I was hooked immediately. And I just suddenly thought, if we're going to do something, maybe there's an opportunity for us to base something around cycling, bring people to this amazing area.
Cycling holidays for Brits are on the rise, on the back of a massive explosion in cycling. In 2014, British people cycled a total of 3.5 billion miles, an increase of 13% in the space of just a year.
And it's just perfect. Like, the weather's gorgeous, the terrain is gorgeous, the roads are great. It's early, but there's hardly anyone around. What more could you want, really?
The foursome are so confident in their project that they're selling their own houses to buy this €370,000 18th century farmhouse, situated just a few minutes outside the hamlet of Espinaz. They plan to live in the main house while the guest quarters will be in the old barn.
Everything's at stake, you know, we've quit salaried positions at home, you know, so there's no monthly income, and that is a worry.
For now, there's a lifetime to pack up in the UK for Charlotte and Marcus before they head to France.
Indian curry will sorely missed, I think. Hence why we're guarding all of these spices, even though they're half open.
Yeah.
The idea being that we have to go to Toulouse to get a curry is worrying me slightly.
Having just sold their 2-up, 2-down terraced house in Coventry, they're making the final preparations to leave.
I already feel a bit homesick and I haven't even left yet.
But their business partners Jim and Mel are one step ahead, having already arrived in France yesterday.
Very tired and a little bit shell-shocked, to be honest. We've been here before, obviously many times, but to actually be knowing that we're staying here is quite a difference to just being on holiday.
They need to get on with the renovation so that the old barn will be ready to welcome their first guests in just 7 weeks' time.
Any emotion of leaving home is kind of being replaced by anxiety. Emotion is leaving and anxiety is coming in at an alarming rate at the moment.
Will Marcus, Jim, Charlotte and Mel pull off their dream of a new life in the sun? The Costa del Sol. Its many resorts have been popular among British tourists since the 1960s. Each year, millions of Brits visit the area. Situated just a stone's throw from the Atlantic Ocean, its waters are rich in sea life, and 2 Brits have made it their business to take tourists exploring the underwater world. Former BBC radio journalists Simon and Natasha Bell left London in 2004, and they've been successfully living and working near Torremolinos along with their son Ruben.
OK, Ruben, are you ready? You have to shout, ropes away!
Ropes away!
That's it! Hold on, you ready? People sometimes say, don't you get bored going to the same places all the time? You say, well, where do you work? And they say, oh, I work in telemarketing or in a bank. And I say, and you got the same desk? How long have you had that desk? About 6 or 7 years. And I say, okay. This is, imagine this, coming to this every single day, you know?
Natasha and Simon have been so successful that last year they set up a second shop in nearby Marbella.
Awesome! Mission success! The number one rule of scuba diving is never pee in your wetsuit.
The move was a success, but it hasn't all been smooth sailing. Simon's plans to expand into Gibraltar have been put on hold to the relief of wife and accountant Natasha.
And I just knew it wasn't a good move. But, you know, I know Simon still talks about it as an ongoing project. He can continue to talk about it as an ongoing project, because in his mind it's ongoing. I know it isn't.
But that hasn't stopped Simon's ambitions to expand. And this year, Natasha and Simon have agreed to carry out their next expansion a bit closer to home.
So this is what we're acquiring.
They're buying up a rival dive centre in Marbella from Cuban expat Gilbert Zamora, who set up shop 10 years ago and has had a monopoly on Spanish divers.
We're now going to be the only dive centre in the whole of Marbella, because Gilbert and his operation were the only competitors. ¿Pero funciona?
By buying out Gilbert's business for €5,000, Simon and Natasha hope to appeal to Spaniards with a passion for diving.
We've definitely been missing out on it, whereas Gilbert had completely, or pretty much 100% of the Spanish market, because he's been here for 10 years.
And as well as attracting more of the 6.5 million Spaniards who visit the region each year, Simon will acquire 10 years' worth of exploration of the sea done by Gilbert's dive centre, which will open up more exciting business possibilities.
Look at all those dive sites there. There's 45 dive sites on there, and I think we know about 9 of them.
The season is about to kick off, so Natasha is desperate to make the sale official, but Simon and Gilbert have left it to the last minute to find a legal notary who will witness the two parts exchanging contracts.
I think if I didn't do this, no one else would. They're just so slapdash, the pair of them. And Gilbert's just gone into...
Obviously send it directly to your sister.
Okay. See? Oof. Okay, so they haven't got any notaries available now until Monday.
Time's fast running out, as in 10 hours Gilbert will fly off to the Caribbean.
We might end up going from notary to notary to notary until we find one. Now I'm worried a little bit because it is...
Well, because his flight is to the Dominican Republic this evening.
Oh, I thought it was Monday.
No, it's today. That's why we're doing it right now. He's got to fly tonight, so we need this signed today.
With just a few hours to spare before Gilbert jets off to the Caribbean, will Simon and Natasha manage to seal the deal before the start of the season? The tranquil Tarn-et-Garonne region in France, where sisters Charlotte and Mel and their husbands, Marcus and Jim, hope to start a new life in the sun from this 18th century farmhouse in the village of Espinaz.
We have left behind our lives in the UK entirely.
That's finished. That period of our lives is over, isn't it? And this is like a new phase now.
Charlotte and Marcus are still tying up loose ends in the UK, while Mel and Jim have been tasked with managing the safe delivery of both couples' belongings.
They have pre-warned us to expect a very, very full lorry.
And while this very full articulated lorry had no problem at all negotiating the streets of Coventry, it's not having quite the same success this deep into the French countryside.
I feel a lot better once this day's over, and you know we can hold this against Charlotte Marcus for like, I don't know, ever.
The lorry has been blocking the road for the last 10 minutes. Not the best icebreaker with their neighbours.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Désolé.
The locals aren't too impressed.
Est-ce que quand le camion est engagé, on peut pas laisser passer 2 minutes les voitures?
I think he's asking whether we've got 2 minutes. Lucky, he's on it.
Woo! Right, just need to straighten
Awesome.
up now. Straight,
Just straighten up.
straighten up, straighten up. Wow, what is this stuff that they've got there?
All I can see in there is just trash. What have Charlotte Marcus put in there? What's all that? I'm slightly concerned that they really have just fly tipped.
Time to empty the skip, the lorry. Let the unpacking commence.
I'm glad it started. The anxiety's now gone, and it's just the pain and the anguish of lugging stuff.
And with all their belongings finally here, it's the start of the dream for these two couples.
Worked very, very hard to get this, and we've still got lots and lots of hard work ahead of us.
With some paying guests arriving, you know, in the short term that is a bit of a worry, but I think we're excited.
I think we're excited.
With just 6 weeks to go until the first guests arrive, Mel and Jim need to finish work on their accommodation and clear up their 7 acres of land, which has become overgrown.
Oh, here's some of the thistles that were as big as me. See, that's pretty special. That's a huge thistle.
The two couples will live in the main house, but the guest accommodation will be situated in 2 separate buildings. The barn conversion will have 4 ensuite bedrooms, yet to be completed, and needs a brand new kitchen.
The deadline is looming, so Marcus and I are going to have to put the kitchen in really quick.
The small cabin is specifically geared for hosting couples. That is, if they can even get to it.
What I need right now is like a machete, like I'm in the jungle.
For now, just use your wellies. That's probably.
It's like a dance move. How's it looking in here?
It's not bad. It's good actually. It has remained, by the looks of things, watertight. So it's hopefully going to be a little bit of a boutique cabin.
A romantic hideaway.
Romantic hideaway, yes, because we've got a hot tub to go with it as well.
Now these two just need to find their way back before Charlotte and Marcus arrive.
Jim, how are we actually going to get out of here?
Have you got your phone with you?
No.
Oh, it's a shame.
Marbella doesn't do anything by halves, and that's certainly true of its beaches, with 24 of them streaking their way across a 17-mile stretch, and many of them awarded the prestigious blue flag status. But it's not relaxing for everyone. British expat Simon Bell is buying up the only rival dive centre in town from owner Gilbert. But he's in a tense race to get the legal papers signed before his colleague flies off to the Caribbean.
No, ¿en serio?
But they've left it too late, and it's bank holiday weekend in Spain, which means that there isn't a notary public in sight to witness the exchange of contracts.
Well, run out of time. What we're going to do is take care of the main business, and we're going to sign the paperwork a little bit later when Gilbert comes back from the Caribbean. But we've worked with him long enough, and we trust each other, so this bit can be done in a couple of weeks' time.
They may not have been able to complete the sale, but informally at least, Simon is now the owner of Gilbert's Dive Centre.
Aquí tienes, Gilbert. Gracias. Gracias a ti. A little bit strange, actually. A little bit weird. No? A little bit weird?
No, it feels natural and organic, and I'm not stressed. I'm happy.
No, I'm certainly not stressed. I'm a little bit nervous in the fact that we were busy last year.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit nervous about the expansion in interest.
Need some more team members.
And a new boat.
And Spanish speaking.
And new equipment.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And a
Now we're
bigger
going
shop.
on into buying things again. Oh my goodness.
But there's one thing that thrifty accountant Natasha has allowed Simon to splash the cash on. To cope with their rise in customers, they've increased the number of instructors to a total of 11, running 2 dive centres 30 miles apart. What used to be a small family-run business has turned into a big operation.
5 in Marbella and, blimey, 6 here in Torremolinos. It's really important to keep in your mind that we're all little cogs in a very big machine. If one of those gets stuck or jammed or doesn't quite operate as smoothly as the others, the whole machine starts to falter, okay? Even on the days where there's a lot of stress, as there will be, especially as we get busier, is keep the smile on for the customers, and if you need to, go around the back and scream into the wetsuits around the back there, yeah?
But Simon might have to take his own advice there about dealing with stress. Just a week later, as the Marbella shop fills with clients, one of the diving instructors has suddenly quit his job.
We lost an instructor who's been with us for 3 years. The timing was very difficult for us because it was just as the season is starting, when we need as many people as possible. The staff are having less time off and feeling a little bit sorry for them. They're really being pushed to their absolute limits.
While Simon looks for a new instructor, he's decided to take a gamble on one of his youngest team members, Courtney, who joined Simply Diving last year as a trainee and has now qualified as an instructor.
Courtney's, along with Patricia, they're our two chief of staff, if you like, our 2 main instructors here. They're basically running the show.
Like this, your loop out. That's it. Good. Skywalker. I'm your father.
Good. First step is holding the compass properly, right? Very good.
Courtney and Patricia are taking out one of their first groups of tourists this season.
Yep, off we go.
To explore the waters outside Marbella's fishing port. This stretch of water is rich in sea life, and marine biologist Courtney has managed to find the favourite hiding place of Matilda the conger eel, and Tito the octopus, and a colony of seahorses.
I always argue that being underwater, going scuba diving, is kind of like a safari. You never really know what you're going to find.
I'm very excited of it. Always wanted to do it my entire life. It's another world below it that you don't know about until you go down.
With happy customers all round, it looks like promoting Courtney was a good move by Simon. But after her successful dive, there's bad news for Simon when his right-hand man Vinny turns up.
How you doing?
Hello, Vinny. Decided to show up then?
Yeah, I thought I'd better come in and do a couple of hours.
Half day today, yeah?
I need 5 minutes.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
What now?
Oh, nothing major.
Oh dear, I hate it when staff say that.
I need 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And
I hate it when staff say that. It's obviously not because they want to tell me some good news, is it?
And unfortunately, Simon's right. Ex-chef Vinny has decided to accept a more lucrative full-time job. This means that this will be his last day of work at Simply Diving.
He needed to be more sure of full-time employment out of season, and that's something that we can't do in this diving industry here on the Costa del Sol, is we do not have a 12-month season. It was just something that he had to go and do and look after himself, and that's what people have to do. They have to look after themselves at the end of the day.
At the start of the season, Simon is now 2 men down. With the Marbella business doubled in size, how will he cope this year? Competa, southern Spain. Whitewashed houses have been sitting on this mountainside for hundreds of years.
Which is nice to be by the... When you think, oh, you're moving to Andalusia, you think beaches, and we're obviously in mountain.
Ex-police officers Graham and Joe Hepper are in the process of selling up their house in England to buy this 4-bedroom B&B in Competa. It's the end of May and Graham left Joe behind in England to come and get vital training on how to run La Vista by its current owners, Mats and Natalie.
Yeah, I slept well. Woke up a few times thinking, had a dream that I'd bought a B&B in Spain and quit my job in England. Yeah, just really looking forward to doing it for real now.
Would you like to serve the breakfast today, or?
I watched you do it first.
Okay, yeah.
Customers Gary and Mark arrived last night and are meeting with friends who live in the area. And Graham is already struggling with the tea run.
Would you like tea or coffee?
Yeah.
Coffee? Sorry, 1 tea and 1 coffee?
2 coffees.
2 coffees. I'm going to be rubbish at this.
Oh, Graham. 3 flights of stairs later, he's back.
I think you're going to get fit working here.
You will.
Anything else I can get you?
We've got some milk there.
Yeah, milk, sugar.
Okay, super.
If there's anything you need, just yell. Enjoy.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday again.
Thank you.
In less than a week, this will be a full-time job for Graham and his wife Jo, and with bookings coming up, they will have to adapt quickly.
Graham's doing very well, considering it's his first day. You know, I think he was a police officer, wasn't he? It's a bit of a different career, but why not? I think he'd be a natural.
Right, that's breakfast sorted. Now on with the chores. Graham and Jo will need to tidy up and change rooms on a daily basis.
A different weapon of choice than I'm used to. Still yellow, like the taser was, but I think I'll be using that more in anger than I was and in my previous equipment.
Time for perfectionist Mats to check Graham's work.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you, boss.
I think you can manage.
Thanks. have I got the job?
Yeah, you got the job.
In the next week, this pool, the terraces, the rest of the building becomes Jo and I's, including the view. I think the more jobs Mats has me doing, the quicker it sinks in.
So this is Graham. He's
Hello.
the one who
Hi.
will
Hi.
take you over the place.
I'll take your bags for you.
Thank you.
I'll shake your hand afterwards.
The first thing to do when guests arrive is show them round the 5 different rooftop terraces La Vista has to offer.
They're amazing views from here, aren't they?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very nice up here.
Yeah. Can I have a quick look at the pool?
Yes.
Yeah. You can comment on my scrubbing if you like. I'm sure I've missed lots of bits. Yeah.
Graham might have learned a lot from Mats and Natalie.
If there's anything you need, just ring on the bell.
But how will he cope when they're running their new business on their own? In the Tarn-et-Garonne region of southwest France, Charlotte and Marcus have finally joined Mel and Jim at their stunning new property, Asplos.
I see you've come dressed for the occasion, guys. Inappropriate
Oh,
footwear.
That's not unlike you, Tony.
We're not lifting.
We're not doing. We tell you which rocks.
I don't think we need direction. We need like donkey work. We need people
No,
to
I'm not.
pass
I
us.
can't donkey walk with that. Walk.
Donkey
work.
Walk. Great.
1, 2, 3.
The 2 couples plan on starting a cycling holiday business from their new house and have to get the place ready for their first guests in 5 weeks.
Yeah, thanks guys. That's
Oh,
been really
yeah.
useful. Thank you.
Thanks very much
Thanks
for
for your support.
absolutely no help at all.
So the foursome have started work on their huge property, with Jim and Marcus busy rebuilding a dry stone wall.
Hold on. Whoa. Oh mate, it's perfect.
Complete with an inbuilt seat to admire the view.
Can I get in there, mate?
I don't think there's enough room, mate.
I think there's
It's
enough
not that
room.
one.
No, it's
You
not-
could be at my right hand.
There's enough room.
God. Right, we're in.
That, mate, I think this is perfect.
I'm really happy with it. I think it works.
Yeah.
There's plenty still to do, with kitchens to fit, rooms to decorate and grass to mow, and once finished, the 2 couples plan to offer accommodation and cycling tours around the region to bike enthusiasts. But there's still time to visit the Tour de France, Marcus's favourite race.
It's the epitome of cycling for those who love the sport, but it's also the epitome for those who don't really love the sport so much and get to kind of show off and enjoy the kind of the carnival that happens when the tour comes through.
At the moment, Marcus is alone in his love for cycling, but he's hoping today will convert the others.
Oh, I've got my beret.
Jim seems more bothered about his wardrobe choices.
I have an extensive range of hats. This is my favourite one for wearing around here, which is like all the feathers.
The amount of people who will be there wearing all sorts of fancy dress, I think that you won't stand out in that at all.
That's a problem for me. I need to be able to stand out a little bit more. Now I've found the rest. Oh man, I found some gloves. Brilliant, I've got cycling gloves.
Jim will certainly be needing those today, as in the spirit of things, all four have decided to cycle to watch the race. They're all heading for Saint-Antonin, a charming and peaceful town situated in the gorges of Aveyron. Riders from around the world will pass through these streets to compete in this annual race, which was first held in 1903. With the support procession filling the streets, there's a real carnival atmosphere. Charlotte, Mel, Jim and Marcus now have to find the perfect spot to watch the race.
What we really need now is a 3-kilometre climb.
Yeah, at least 3 Ks.
In the intense heat.
I am feeling very hot.
Yeah, the sweat's worth it. The sweat today of climbing that hill is worth it, even just for the view. But we're going to try and head for this corner, and I think we'll probably get a fairly good view down the road from there.
Yeah, this is like half an hour of exercise for 5 minutes of gain, probably.
Yeah.
All that there.
Yeah. Finally in position, the wait for the peloton is on.
To our first tour, live tour de France.
Cheers guys, well done.
Ever tour.
Yeah, one and only ever. Yeah, to the only tour off.
Finally, it's the moment they've been waiting for.
Here they are.
Here they are. Here they are.
Where's it all gone? They were like there a minute ago and now they're just gone. That's it.
Wow, that is it.
That was an amazing spectacle, James, don't you think? Is that it?
Is that it? Is that it? Has that happened?
Looks like Jim might need a bit more convincing to become a cycling convert. But with the success of their new business resting on it, hopefully he can get up to speed, and fast. In Marbella, it's the dawn of a new era for Simon Bell's diving centre.
Morning, team.
After buying out his only competitor, Simon has a monopoly on diving tours off this stretch of the Costa del Sol, and that means loads more customers to deal with for him and his accountant wife Natasha.
8 o'clock, and I've already missed 3 voicemail messages from Natasha.
Simon has lost 2 of his long-serving instructors, so he's had to hire in dive master Danilo and seasoned instructor Duncan for the day.
Everybody have suit and fins?
Yeah. What? Suit, fins and boots, mask, snorkels, yes?
And today is an important day for Simon's new crew. They've been asked to do a feature story for one of the UK's biggest diving magazines about diving on the Costa del Sol. British divers make up the majority of Simon's clients, so they need to pull off an impressive underwater photo shoot.
So we're going back to the SS Manapier, our big First World War wreck, just off the coast of Fuengirola. We have a special photo shoot going on with our Patricia as model. We have a couple of paying customers with us who are coming for fun.
Simon's friend Phil, an experienced diver and underwater photographer, has been drafted in to take the pictures, but he's worried about the conditions.
The biggest problem that you can suffer is if you get a lot of sediment in the water, so you get backscatter. And the best way to the best analogy for that is to imagine that if you're driving along and you drive in a blizzard and you put the 4 beams on, yeah, and then you can't see anything because of the light reflecting off the snow, and that's what will scupper it for us.
And ever the diplomat, Simon used a simple method for choosing Patricia to model for the photo shoot.
She knows the wreck, she knows what to do, and I'm staying on the boat. Courtney's busy, so third choice wins.
Such a gentleman. Last year's expedition to the Shipwreck started with a disaster when the van Vinny was driving went bang.
You've got to be kidding.
So Simon's hoping for a much more successful outing today.
Okay, Patricia, let's try here, please. Where's it going? Good. That's where I want it to go.
I might want to try and get a picture of the coral with you behind, yeah? So I may ask you to come in, so I might just say either to swim in, or I may ask you to look a certain direction, okay?
The published article in one of the UK's biggest diving magazines will be a great chance for Simon to showcase what the Costa del Sol has to offer to British divers.
There's nothing better than some good quality photos and videos. We really want to promote this wreck as, even though it's for advanced divers only, that it's here and that it attracts people who, you know, might not want to go as far as the Red Sea for a nice big shipwreck. They can come here and do this one.
The upper part of the 99-year-old shipwreck is 37 metres below sea level, which will take the divers 2 minutes to swim down to.
Okay, off you go then, Patricia.
Once down at the wreck, Phil has only a 17-minute window in which to get the best photographs before they run out of air. The Menapia sank in 1917 after it hit another ship just 30 miles short of its destination, Gibraltar.
The lovely thing about a wreck like this is because it does have a story. So it has that kind of history behind it, the fact that it's of its size, and it's so close to shore. When it smashed into the other boat, you probably even could have heard or seen it from the coast there, this almighty boom, and just watching this giant ship just sink beneath the surface. It must have been quite a sight, you know, and there it sits, just peacefully lying on the bottom for nearly 100 years, with just this lovely story behind it.
The wreck has created an artificial reef and is now home to all sorts of marine life, including the Dentex fish that can grow up to 1 metre long. And Simon is nervous to find out if Phil managed to capture any decent photos for the magazine.
How was it, okay?
This was just a couple of metres. It looks very blue here, but with the current that's coming through, it's disturbed the bottom. So it wasn't just dark, clear water, it was quite turbid. So got a lot of backscatter and adjusted it, but the current was washing us down the wreck as well. So I think we got a few, but yeah, not the usual 150 or 200 I like to fire off.
Simon and his crew head straight back to the shore to see if Phil managed to get any usable photos in the difficult conditions.
Hey! Mate, they're lovely! Oh man! Best photos I've ever seen of the Menapia, eh? Look at all the fish, all the antheas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Looks like you're coming through a big tunnel, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I still think there's a couple that we can send, Phil. They're nice and moody, which is really nice. Because it is a bit moody down there, isn't it?
But will the magazine take the shots? And if it does, will Simon and his team be able to cope with any extra customers the publicity might generate? Cambridgeshire, England. A far cry from the sun-drenched hills and arresting views of Competa in southern Spain.
Come on, cat. Need that.
Where former police officers Joe and Graham Hepper are upping sticks and moving to for a new life and new business, running a traditional Spanish guest house.
It might seem like quite a impulsive thing to do, to quit our jobs and sell our house and move to another country to do something we've never done before, but actually we've researched it. We've had a business plan for the bank.
We have no home. We are transient. We're about to become migrants. For the first time in my life, I'm a migrant.
Today, they are loading up their belongings to leave their English home for good. But there's one little glitch. The sale of their home, which will allow them to finalise the purchase of their Spanish business, has not been resolved.
You haven't heard anything from solicitors anyway?
No, but I've emailed them, but I have had confirmation.
Of what?
Which, if we transfer the money tomorrow,
yeah,
it will be in the Spanish bank account on Tuesday.
Sorry, what? Why is it not going to be there tomorrow or Monday?
Because if we send it tomorrow,
Yeah.
it won't be there on Monday because Monday's bank holiday.
So they can show that they've got the funds in the bank account, so we can get the mortgage.
To buy the Spanish B&B, Graham and Joe will need the funds from the sale of their house by the end of the working day, or else the deal might fall through.
Solicitors have just got back to me. So long as they receive the funds from the buyer's solicitors before 3 p.m. today, she can get it over to me today.
Awesome balls.
Again, we are reliant upon other people, so that's fun.
That's 5 hours they have for the money to be transferred. Nothing left to do now but keep fingers crossed and get loading.
I don't want to push it too hard in case I push you backwards down the stairs.
That's all right, I've got it on my...
Oh, I feel like we could have turned this into a fun ride. Do I need to press a button?
Yeah, if you come around this side and hold it.
You're saying you don't trust me to press the button?
I'm the button pusher.
Rather than paying international movers to shift their belongings, they've opted to rent a van themselves and drive all the way down to southern Spain.
Push. Keep going, keep going.
I can't because I've got no more space to walk forward into. It needs to go up, 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 up.
Keep pushing. Keep push.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine.
It's 2 o'clock. The van is loaded and the Heppers are all set to head off to sunny Spain.
It's Mrs. Hepper.
But they're still waiting to hear if the money from the sale of their house has gone into their solicitor's account.
We're waiting for completion, and I was really just calling to see if there was any movement with our buyer's solicitors in terms of the funds.
The clock is ticking. Will the money go through in time?
You're calling the solicitor again,
Yeah. See if she'll take my call this time.
Next time, ex-coppers Graham and Joe call for emergency roadside assistance.
A slight mishap in France.
Vanvie Bridge, Bridge 1.
A mix-up at the pump leaves Simon stranded.
We went to fill the boat up with a good 50 litres of petrol. Much to our surprise, we'd filled it up with 50 litres of fresh water instead.
With customers waiting, how will he cope?
I'm taking the boat back to them and, well, they're going to bloody fix it.
And in France, there's a quality control inspection.
Yeah, the glassless window is a bit of a problem for us at the minute.
Will Jim, Marcus, Charlotte and Mel complete their renovations on time?
We've got a pretty solid deadline, so a week and a day of guests arriving. So, loads to do, no time.